Hey, today we've got a new patch update that just arrived. The developers go over different things such as game crashes, miscellaneous fixes, and optimization improvements. We'll also go over more questions that Arrowhead CEO was able to answer. Not only that, there's so much more to talk about. If you can't do me a solid, be sure to tap the like button and the hype button below. With that said, let's jump in. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the newest patch update that just dropped a few minutes ago. We'll start with the crashes. There was a bug that would make the game crash if you tapped Alt and Tab, or if you changed your display settings, which would also completely bug out the game. They also fixed another crash where the Hive Lord could hear noises from outside the map, which would straight up crash the game. The third one happened when you disconnected or left a match, the game would just randomly close. That's been resolved as well. The next issue that's been resolved is a crash that would happen when you changed your graphics settings during certain missions. The developers have finally patched that out as well. The fifth issue is a rare crash, by the way, apparently from what the developers have written here. They explain that this bug would occur when launching into city missions, and that's a PC only issue as well. Lastly, for crashes, they mentioned one more rare crash that would pop up when the Pelican lands at the extraction zone. But that's not all. The developers kept going with a bunch more fixes, this time in the miscellaneous category. They explained that there was an issue with the SH-32 shield generator backpack and the FX-12 shield generator relay stratagem, where it didn't shield those inside from the effects of storms, such as acid storms, sandstorms, and blizzards. The second and last bug resolved in the miscellaneous category was a rare audio bug where it would cut out after extensive playtime. So if you were just playing for some reason, after you played for such a long time, the game would just, bug out and the audio would cut out and all that, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it for miscellaneous. Next up is optimization, which I'm sure a majority of you Helldivers are looking forward to with this patch. What they've done here is improve the environmental effects such as sandstorms, acid storms, and blizzards that apply their status effect. They explained that they did this to reduce the impact on performance. The second improvement is with trees. They explained that they optimized the destruction of various tree assets to help maintain performance when lots of trees are being destroyed. Continuing on, we have a fix for sandstorms and blizzards. The developers noted they fixed a bug that allowed Helldivers to move freely without slowing them down, so when you dive onto a planet, the sandstorms and blizzards should slow you down now. And the last and final patch note for this update is right here. The developers confirmed that they've addressed a gameplay and performance issues that would allow Bile Titans to travel through areas they wouldn't be able to traverse. With that all being said, that's pretty much it for the patch notes. I know some of you out there were probably looking forward to the developers addressing issues with breaking, freezes, and so forth. There's nothing here, as you can tell, regarding those issues that have been reported in the past, right? Like a lot of players have been saying, we need this resolved, but there's nothing here. And if I had to guess, I'd say the developers are still looking into the stuff surrounding it. My overall thoughts are that it's a solid patch, a solid update, considering it should prevent your game from crashing, and the optimizations should help to some degree so you can run Helldivers 2 smoother. The only thing is, I would have liked it if they went more into explaining or discussed what's going on with the freezes and how the game can just randomly freeze your entire PC. Speaking of which, I'm still experiencing them, but other than that, it's not a bad update at all, and hopefully things will gradually improve as time goes on. As you all know, they're upgrading their game engine's RAM in the future, probably next year, so that it can handle things better, right? So that it can help a ton with performance issues. Anyway, what I like to know is, what are your feelings about the updates thus far? Are they helping out? Are they making things worse? What would you like the developers to fix? Whatever it is, make sure to drop a response in the comments section, and I'll check out what you have to say. Okay, so we just went over the patch notes, but let's talk about the bottom section here. This is what the developers wrote. We also kindly ask you to put a fiery red circle around the date December 2nd, as we will have some buzzing updates for you all. So yeah, that means the developers are gearing up to release some content, and that is pretty exciting. Now, I know what most of you are thinking, well, what the heck, like, the performance is kind of mid still. But we know for sure that next year things will be improved quite a lot. I recall the game director saying, hey, you know, next year things will improve quite a lot for performance, and hopefully by then everything will be a lot better. On a relatable note about patches, a few weeks ago there was a new update that completely changed the way weapons work, basically nerfing their damage depending on the range and how far the target is. They also had an undocumented change that essentially buffed the Senator, or at least that's what we thought. They did increase the damage, which is true. However, the reason why is because, like I just mentioned, there was that patch that changed how weapons work depending on the range, because in that patch they made some changes to two specific stats, durable and drag, as you all know. Someone actually did the math on the Helldivers subreddit page just recently, which you can see here. Now, before we go over that, let me show you why the Senator is actually nerfed instead of buffed. As you all know, previously you could one-tap an Overseer if you aimed at their dome. However, currently when you try to do it, it doesn't work like that anymore. You can see I'm aiming directly at the head and it practically does nothing. We could tell I'm doing full damage, considering the red X appears each time. The thing is, this isn't an issue with just the Illuminate, it's for all factions, including Terminids and, of course, Automatons. So clearly this is an issue, and it's a shame they haven't reverted those changes to the durable and drag stats. Nonetheless, like I just said a few minutes ago, there's a Helldiver that did the math and created a Reddit post on the Helldivers subreddit that basically posted this, and it actually received 2,000 upvotes. Now, I don't want to bore anyone with the math, yet here's what this Helldiver wrote. Basically, FitAnswer explained the current and last patch and how things have changed drastically for weapons. There's tons of numbers for each enemy, and the whole math here is quite insane. Now, this Helldiver feels like it mainly affects automatons, and that it's a nerf for that particular faction. However, I think it can be argued that it affects pretty much all factions. Anywho, I think it's great that we're getting all of this info shared out and that players can be more aware of what's going on. I will say that I'd like to imagine that Arrowhead's decision was based on realism, right? Their philosophy on realism and what makes sense. Not that I'm saying it makes sense, but we know the devs make decisions solely based on what's realistic. I personally think I'd rather have fun than realism. Now, sure, you can have realism and fun, but I think those two do not coincide well with Helldivers 2. At least with the decisions and whatnot. So let me know what you're thinking right now and comment it below. Okay, moving along, we have the Game Awards coming up, and here are the nominees for Best Community Support: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. The question I have is, did Helldivers 2 deliver the best community support as of late? Have they been transparent and open about everything, and have they just delivered it, right? I'm not too sure, but we'll see what happens here. Anyway, Helldivers 2 is on the list for community support, and it'll be interesting to see who wins this award. The second award is for the best ongoing game, and Helldivers 2 is in this list as well. Yet there's also other games, of course, such as Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. I think it's going to be a tough one for Helldivers 2 to win, and it'll be interesting to see what you Helldivers have to say about this in the comments, because I'm certainly looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Let's continue on here and discuss something very interesting. There are some Helldivers that noticed the community managers have changed their status, right, on Discord. They now have these two eyes. For example, Baskinator has one eye and Mitchimus has the other eye. So what is going on here? I have no idea. It does say watching, so perhaps there's another ARG event on the way, or maybe there's new content coming soon. And I don't know. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say there's definitely new content coming, considering the game director recently announced in their interview that, hey, we're going to get back to creating content. We just need to release a few patches, and I think that's exactly what's going on here. But hey, if you have any thoughts about this, do you think it's going to be ARG? Do you think they're going to drop some new content soon? Let me know what you think. Oh, and speaking of content, I noticed someone discovered that someone is on Cyberstan currently, and yeah, there's no way to actually travel to Cyberstan because, well, it's blocked. We can't access it. There's no support lines allowing us to go straight there, or FTL, or whatever you want to call it, right? But this right here is very intriguing as well, and I want to imagine that, you know, Arrowhead has something planned here soon, so keep your eyes open for my next video and all the upcoming videos I have planned. If you haven't done so already, make sure you are subscribed and you have your notifications turned on so you don't miss out on the next video. On a different note, if you missed my previous video, I highly suggest checking it out because Arrowhead's CEO talked about AI and explained that they're waiting to see what the court says about fair use and whatnot. This conversation was wild to read, and I know a majority of you just recently expressed your opinions about it in that previous video. You guys absolutely said you don't want to see AI in Helldivers 2, and I don't blame anyone for not wanting it. Now, if you could use AI to make enemies more advanced in terms of how they react to players when facing off against them, then that might not be a bad idea, right? It's not like you're creating voices out of thin air with robotic tones or, you know, copying someone else's artwork. It's nothing like that, right? It's just how the enemy reacts to players. But yeah, nobody really wants AI in Helldivers 2, and like I said, I don't blame you. So with that said, these are the top 3 comments that actually talked about it. There's PR Spectre 6680, Edge of Sky 6684, and last but not least, QRQQK that spoke about it all. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, consider tapping the thumbs up or the like button below, subscribe, turn on notifications, and tap the hype button as well. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, it's completely free. So yeah, see you in the next one.